Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Motive. We are about to get underway for our feature race here at the seasonal opener. We are live at Monza. Our drivers are about to start their formation lap of a reversed grid here. So obviously Smithy is not going to be on pole, unfortunately, due to his performance in the previous race. He will be starting in the middle of the grid. Our drivers just putting their setups in at the moment. Falgas currently is just talking to the drivers, telling them which position they need to be in. He will be joining me back in the commentary box shortly, once he's sorted everyone out and everyone is underway safely. Nathan asking what happened. Nothing, mate. We're just about to get the feature race underway. It looks like Smithy's retired to the pits. So the formation lap begins now, ladies and gentlemen. Bowie pulls to one side, knowing that he had a brilliant performance in the sprint race. He's going to start from the back, as this is a reverse grid race for our LMP2 drivers. So our race leader to start is going to be DJ Phil, and Barry moving over off the race line, I think, maybe flashing his lights, trying to let people pass. Doesn't look like they're doing so at the moment. So Barry pulls off the track. Very safe driving there from Bowie to let people through. He might even stop at the end of the first chicane to let everyone come through. Glad to have you here again, Nathan. Thanks for the support on the streams, mate. Really appreciate it. So we're just waiting for all these drivers to group up now. It looks like they aren't wanting to do so at the moment. There's quite a large gap between our leader DJ Phil and out the back, which is King Venom and
Hello,
Bowie.
I'm back.
And we do have Falgas back in the commentary box. All drivers look to be in the positions now, but there is quite a large gap, Val.
Is there a big gap, is there? Where's the gap?
Further up the field, I think. Oh no, they've all grouped back up now. It looks like Phil's dropped the pace a bit, so I'll take my words back there.
It does look like we lost Smithy to the pit lane, so whether the engineers couldn't get the car ready in time.
He just messaged me. He said he did ready up, but unfortunately he might have run out of time.
We'll have to find out from him later on. As they come round from the formation lap. Are we alive, Badger?
Yes, we are, mate.
We come round on the formation lap of this feature race this evening. This will include a pit stop, and there is rain on the radar. So expect some rain mid-race, but it will only be a quick shower, so it might dry up this evening. What a sight, these cars weaving from side to side this evening.
Yeah,
DJ
so what would your tactic be then, obviously with a light shower coming in? Would you take a quick pit stop, keep the slicks on, get out of the pits quick, or would you opt for the wets and drive them till the end?
I would probably stick the wets on and try and go to the end on the wets, because I don't think the degradation is as much here as some expect. Therefore, pitting for slicks, and if you run on slicks in the wet, you're not going to gain much time around here. These cars are slippery anyway, so I don't think that will work at all. So if you pit for slicks, you will have to pit for wets, I imagine. As we see DJ Phil round in the last corner, he's got the pack right behind him. Hopefully we have a nice clean start here into turn one.
Yeah, we've got Andy.
You've seen the drivers warming their tyres. Badger, I'll hand this over to you to start.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, we are about to get underway. If you are joining us here for our feature race of the seasonal opener, our Tier 1 drivers in formation now. The lights are about to go green here at Monza. A slight touch there from Andy. And we are underway, ladies and gentlemen. We're about to head to turn 1. We're on board with DJ Phil, our leader. We're looking further down the pack now. 3 drivers look to have got underway. Further down the pack, though, we are 3 wide, it looks like. Into turn 1 we go. DJ
wide.
Phil still out in front.
No.
And there's a crash into turn 1, ladies and gentlemen.
Ollie involved in that. It looks like Rags as well.
Ollie very safe driving now, pulls to one side.
Andy looks to have avoided that. Looks like Rags there was an innocent victim. We'll have to wait and see. We have, in the meantime, we have CMC in the lead here. What a start.
Oh, yeah, DJ Phil's lost a couple of positions in those first few corners.
Oh no.
It's some reckless driving going on in the middle of this pack. And maybe a few people have lost tyre temperature.
In trouble again. The start of this feature race. Oh, we have
it looks like someone's round. Is that Ollie round there? It is Ollie that's gone round.
Ollie.
Very safe though to stay still in the middle of the track. So it does look like maybe these drivers have lost a lot of temperature in the tyres on that formation lap. And and Ugba's in the wall now. Our race leader in the wall there, ladies and gentlemen. It doesn't look like these drivers have got a dry setup at the moment. Obviously in the last race we saw a phenomenal performance from everyone. I can only put it down to tyre temperatures being lower, obviously due to that formation lap at around 60 mile an hour. Tyres were not kept to a decent temperature. And it does look like throughout the race we will see better racing. So be sure to stick around. Comment who you think is going to take this one. Remember, we do have a mandatory pit stop as we start lap 3 of this 25 lap race.
So let's have a rundown. We got Ubar coming across the line to complete the first racing lap. We got Pete. Pete's doing very well up in second. Pete started on the grid in 7th place actually, so he's up very, very far compared to his grid stop. We got Andy. Andy up a couple places into 3rd, started 5th this race, so very good. We've got Sebas behind him. Sebas is a very quick customer around here. And a bit further back you got CMC, started on the front row. You got Bowie. Bowie was our challenger from race 1 in the wet conditions, as he got a dry setup for this car. You got Carnage Venom. Carnage Venom started from the rear of the grid. He's doing very well, very loose through the Lesmos there, as JR said on the stream last time. Struggles with the Lesmos. Hopefully he figures that out for the remainder of the race. We've got Richie behind them. A bit further back you've got Flecky, obviously been in a bit of trouble. Dalaban, our home racing driver, currently in 10th. Makes you wonder whether he's biding his time. Maybe going to go for a wet...
Oh no! And someone's on 2 wheels there. That looked like it was.
Looks like it was Flecky. He took a bit too much curb there, got on the sausage curb, and these cars do not like the curbs being so low to the ground. So hopefully he recovers. And is that rain falling there, Badger?
It might possibly be.
It looked like a bit of rain on the camera lens there, coming through the parabolica there as well. It does, yes. We do have rain, ladies and gentlemen, through the parabolica. So hopefully...
Ogba's coming through the first corner now, our race leader on lap 4. 2.5 seconds behind him, we've got Andy. Hoping to keep that back gap. I bet Ugba will be. Not wanting Andy to go anywhere near him, especially in these wet conditions.
Let's have a look on board. Can you notice the rain? I don't think they can notice the rain yet, so we've got news from the paddock that you can. So will drivers start to hit already, or is it too soon? Who knows? Let's have a look, see how the strategies play out, shall we?
Yeah, personally.
Who's your money on, Badger?
Personally, if I was in Bowie's or Carnage Venom's position at the moment, obviously they've got a brilliant start, moved up to 5th and 6th position respectively. I would definitely pit now, not wanting to battle with drivers in front, wanting some clean air to put fast laps in, and hopefully jump the other drivers when they get their pit stops as well.
Yeah, the rain is really coming down now. As I said, it does only look like to be a shower, so hopefully it does dry up. We've got Pete running very wide at the exit of the Ascari chicane there, probably due to the wet conditions. Let's have a look, see which drivers do decide to pit for wet
Let's
tyres.
let's add the track map on as well, Phil. Let's have a look.
Oh yes, sorry.
See, no, don't be sorry. Let's see if anyone goes in. Elpa doesn't. Our race leader isn't in the pits at the moment.
Doesn't look like anyone's deciding to make a pit stop yet.
And it looks like we've got a little battle going on with Delavan and Flaky. Is that how it's Olimar and Flaky?
Will Rags take a gamble and maybe have a pit stop here? He's got nothing to lose. He's currently 20 seconds. No, he doesn't. It's 20 seconds behind the leader. Aries. Not sure what happened to Aries. He's had a bad first couple of laps, warming his tyres up here. You got DJ Phil. DJ Phil struggling in these conditions, coming through Ascari chicane, half a lap behind already. So hopefully he manages to sort it out. Maybe pit now for wet tyres. You never know what can play out. Let's go back to our leader. We've got Ubar leading the race, 2.6 ahead of Andy. Yeah. So hopefully Andy sorted his act out for this feature race.
Yeah, we all hope that. It does look like we've got a mid-pack battle going on though for 8th, 9th and possibly 10th position. Here we go, we're on board now with King Venom.
We had a car moving very slowly there. Who was that? That was Ollie. Ollie's moving very slowly, so whether he's had a bit of a moment coming out of the second part of the Lesmos, we're unsure. Did not catch it on the stream.
So is anyone going to pit this round?
And Ubar decides to make a late dive for the pits there. Looks like Andy's continuing. You've got Sebas as well. Bowie. Ubar looking like the only one to go in the pits at the minute. Maybe for... Oh no, Carnage Venom, he's joined him. So we'll see how these... And you've got a few others. You've got Dalavan and CMC. So we'll see how these guys pan out, see what tyres they come out on, whether they change tyres.
It doesn't look like Carnage Venom's changing tyres there, so he's opting to stick in the pits, I think. He's putting more fuel in there.
Just for fuel, so we'll see how that.
Yeah, he's lost a lot of time in the pits there, Carnage Venom has.
Let's have a look at Ubar, see if Ubar managed to put some wet tyres on or not.
Don't know if
you
can
we'll be able to tell. Seems to have a fair bit of grip, so
yeah, it does
I
look
would
like
imagine he would have changed tyres because it does look very damp out there now. In the meantime, you've got Andy and Sebas batting for the lead here.
Andy takes that left-hander perfectly. Very odd there for Andy as he manages to do it, but that one he does not. The commentator's curse. That left-hander coming out of the chicane, he runs a little bit wide. He has to give up the position, I suppose, to Seb for that mistake there. Yes, he does so. Very kind driving there from Andy to do so.
Now let's see if these drivers pit. It does look like Andy is pitting here. Andy currently in the pit and Bowie has stayed out.
So at the moment our provisional race leader is Ubar, sorry. 39 seconds behind the leader.
Let's see what Andy filters out compared to Ubar.
Ubar just heading towards the Parabolica now.
We know that Ubar, CMC, Carnage Venom and Dalavan have pitted. So we'll see where Andy, Flaky and Pete filter out compared to these races.
Oh, and someone's
Spray coming up now. Spray through the Parabolica, so it's very wet. I definitely say
Umbra just ran a little bit wide there. Yeah, Eris Umbra definitely struggling on those slick tyres, goes straight in the pits. And it looks like Andy's come out.
Andy's beaten Ubar out of the pits there, ladies and gentlemen. So Andy is now our net leader. You don't say that often, but he's doing very well in this race.
But the question's there, ladies and gentlemen. Was his pit stop quicker because he didn't change tyres?
Yes, you have to
wonder. Does look a little bit twitchy.
He's very twitchy, but through Andy's experience, he does know the track, although he does suffer a bit on left-handers, so maybe he just puts the wets on just for make him feel a bit more confident through those left-hand bends, you don't know.
Yeah, I suppose a 2-tyre change might be quicker. He might just put wet tyres on the left-hand side just to try and assist him turning
That'd be
left.
interesting, wouldn't it? I wonder how that would handle. In the meantime, you've got Sebas and Bowie pitting now, so... And Richie by the looks of it.
Where's
Richie,
Andy?
no,
Is
Richie's
Andy
carrying on.
Is Andy heading towards the parabolica now? I think he is. Yes, he is. There we go. So we've got 2 drivers in the pits, as you can see there on the track map, ladies and gentlemen. Andy heading towards the parabolica. We'll have to try and figure out whether Bowie and Seb had enough pace to get out of the pits in front of Andy.
Lots of spray through the parabolica now. It looks like Sebas is... Oh, that's very
Floating
odd.
without wheels. Oh, there we go. He is
Yes.
floating out to the
Very
pits.
strange.
And Bowie. We are here
I've never
live
seen
at
that
Star
before.
Wars.
Sebas is floating here, ladies and gentlemen. You don't see that often. And it looks like... Oh, that's very, very good.
And Andy does get out in front of Bowie, who is floating into the first chicane here at Monza.
Oh,
and
no.
Andy struggles to take that left hand, and Bowie gets it perfectly.
What a run
And
by Bowie
setting
there.
an impression
Bowie
there
is
to
now
Andy
net
Howitt's
leader,
done.
ladies and gentlemen. What a race we've got here, Badger.
Is Bowie floating for you as well, or is it just my end?
He comes and goes, really. I think he does what he pleases. Bowie is a man of many talents, so maybe he floats around the track.
I
Less
suppose.
drag. Less drag, you know. In the background, you've got Carnage Venom passing Ubar there. Carnage is flying through this field.
Oh, and someone's off.
Is that Andy? Is that Andy?
It might possibly be Andy.
I think that is Andy.
Andy has dropped back a few positions. It is
He
Andy.
has dropped back.
So that was a
Going through the
left-hander though
left.
again. Was it? I can't remember.
Damn left-handers. Damn left-handers. Meanwhile, you got Richie in the lead, 30 seconds in front. So whether he's
Yeah, that's going to be interesting.
and he seems to be pulling away from Bowie and all that. So whether he started the race on wet tyres, you don't know.
Yeah, obviously we've got that pack of cars battling behind now, so there's a 2-second gap between second, third and fourth. If those boys start back battling, Richie's going to be very happy because he's just setting clean laps at the moment, and when he comes in for his mandatory pit stop, he should be able to launch away out in front.
Meanwhile, you've got Ollie, Dalavan and Flecky there.
A comment on the stream there, the super negative downforce set up by Bowie. I think they're seeing what I'm seeing, and currently I'm watching Bowie racing at the Star Wars Grand Prix.
Oh, wow. Where is Andy? Andy's going very slow.
Well, there we go, ladies and gentlemen.
Parabolica.
If you did join us last season, ladies and gentlemen, we did see Andy building sand pits in that Parabolica for the Clio Cup, the last race of the season. It looks like Andy's gone there to finish his castle.
Finish his work of art.
Yeah.
Say. Either that or he stopped for pizzas on the exit of Parabolica, you know. So.
Oh,
decided
and he
to
struggles
not go around
there.
the first corner there, ladies and gentlemen. So didn't fancy taking that line.
Obviously, Andy, being the owner of Motive Racing, sometimes decides to take his own lines. We did see that last season at Daytona.
So in the meantime, you do have Richie still out in the lead. He's still not pitted. 30 seconds. He's holding. I reckon he must have started on wet tyres, you know.
Yeah, definitely. He's not struggling at the moment. What's the weather forecast?
Stroke from him.
What's the weather forecast, Phil?
It does dry up. It is looking like the rain will come to an end shortly, so we should end up drying up. I mean, due to the high downforce nature of these cars, it does shoot the water away from the track. Will that mean that there will be a dry line towards the end of the race? Who knows? Who knows?
Yeah,
but
possibly.
Richie may have pulled a masterstroke on this strategy here. He's holding 30 seconds in front of Bowie, so doing very well here this evening. Meanwhile, Bowie is in a battle with Carnage Venom now, so those two will end up slowing each other down due to them battling. What a time from Carnage. Carnage Venom, 41.4. It's the quickest guy on the track. I mean, Ollie Marr was 4 tenths off his time, so Ollie's obviously got a stonking wet setup there. The rain seems to be really coming down in the second part of the Lesmo there on the camera. So, in the meantime, we've got Andy in the pits.
And he's already took his pit stop, I think.
And he's already taken his pit stop. So whether this is for damage,
or he might have gone to pick up his bucket and spade.
Oh no, Andy!
He might have gone to get his bucket and spade, maybe. To oh, he's changing tyres.
And he is changing tyres. What? Oh no, Andy! Why are you changing tyres? It's going to dry up in a minute.
So
Not
there
something
we go.
I would have done, Andy.
Ladies and gentlemen, this race is all about tactics. As we see Richie just keeping that gap to 30 seconds at the moment as he heads towards Sector 2 on lap 11 of this feature race. Here at Motive Racing, this is the seasonal opener.
In the meantime, you've got King Venom, Carnage Venom, sorry. And behind him, you've got Sebas. Sebas currently in P4. A bit further back, you've got Ubar. Ubar running well. He is our lead coordinator from the Netherlands. Doing very well this evening. A bit further back, you've got Pete. Pete running well, staying out of trouble in the Ligier.
Yeah, Andy's still in the pit, so he's lost a lot of time there. Maybe he did get damage from the parabolica.
Still, oh no, Andy's retired the car, ladies and gentlemen. Retired the car, so maybe too much damage from all his collisions.
I was on the soft tyres.
Are you back in the?
Andy was on the soft tyres.
Are you back in the commentating booth then, Andy, for this evening? Have you finished building sandcastles at the parabolica?
I finished building the sandcastles. I thought.
There we go.
They've all been ruined by the rain anyway, so there's no point. It's a waste of time.
That's very true.
I'd much rather watch the race from up here, to be honest. It's been an absolute disaster for me. The team refused to change my tyres onto the wets for some goodness knows what reason. So here we are.
Will you be letting any of your engineers go, Andy, or will they have to?
To be honest, I think I might just do a Lightning McQueen and just fire them all. Replace my team with a group of guys in a town that I know called Radiator Springs. They're a lot better than my current team.
Well, you heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen. Here first.
A little touch there from King Venom there, Carnage Venom, sorry. And it enables him to get blast. Very dirty there from Carnage Venom. Unfortunately, Bowie did get onto the grass and it enabled him to get past. Bowie will not be pleased with that as he floats round to the second chicane.
Is he still floating?
Yep. Watch the stream, fell. It's great.
Still floating. Oh, he is still floating. Wow, our Flying Dutchman is doing it again. Two of our Flying Dutchmen. What is it with the Dutch people? They seem to fly around the track.
Sebas, they're starting to lose touch with these guys, actually. He's lost 8/10 last time around. I just saw him having a little bit of a hard time coming through the second chicane. Just getting a little bit stuck on that sausage curve there as well. So, looks like he's struggling in these conditions.
Doesn't seem as comfortable as the dry conditions. I mean, in the dry he was challenging for the race lead and now he's 30 odd seconds back, but of course Richie does.
Oh, someone's round there and just in front. Who's that that's round? It does look like Bowie was round. Bowie's round.
Oh no, Bowie. Obviously came into contact with the track at that point and spun him round.
But I was just looking there. Richie has lost a few seconds from Carnage Venom now. 27 seconds. It was 30 a couple of laps ago.
He has.
So maybe his tyres.
Had a moment.
He is on slicks there, ladies and gentlemen. We can just see at the bottom of your screen those slick tyres.
You can. Wow. If he's managing to keep this on slicks, that's very good driving. It does look very loose and very very hard for him, mind. I don't think I could do it. A bit further back, you've got Flecky. Flecky in 8th. Currently got Dalavan running behind him, our home driver for this evening's Grand Prix. Hopefully Dalavan can now start to go forwards now the wet weather has come in. Seemed to struggle in the dry, so hopefully he's got his car set up for the wet this evening. And Andy, would you like to comment on the conditions out there this evening?
Yeah, the conditions are gradually worsening, and as you can see, this light rain is pretty consistently and continuously falling. We started off in bone dry conditions. For the first couple of laps there was the odd raindrop, and for all intents and purposes it was pretty much bone dry still. But we knew the rain was coming. It came a little bit earlier than we were expecting. The forecast suggested that we would be getting rain later on in the race, but it came down. I think it started coming down on lap 4, and it started getting really heavy on around lap 6. So again, it's just caught us by surprise really. A lot of the guys would have had strategies that would have been taking them much further into the race. They would have been fueled probably up till about lap 15 or so. So we're about sort of where we are now really, but the track is getting more and more treacherous by the raindrop. So it doesn't look like we'll be having any changes back to the dry tyres before the end of this race.
Well, there we go. So, you don't think it'll be dry, so we'll see who has the best wet setup on their car to finish off this race this evening.
To be fair, Bowie has excelled in these conditions so far. Sorry, Phil.
No, carry on.
I was going to say, he excelled in these conditions in the sprint race, and we've barely been able to see what he's able to do in the dry. I'm sure he's got pretty strong pace in that as well, but unfortunately he got caught up a little bit unstuck with a spin in this race, which has sort of put pay to his chances of maybe finishing on the podium here in this one. These guys will be played into play once Richie comes in. I believe he still needs to come in for a start, unless I'm very much mistaken.
He does.
He does. So Bowie may be in contention for a podium still. Let's hope that he can get it together, because it'd be nice to see him up there getting a double podium here in this LMP2 Tier 1 Championship here. Resident staff member, one of our head admins here at Motive Racing, and does a lot of work here behind the scenes. Great to see him flying high here. Sorry, Fal, I'll let you say what you're going to say now.
No, he is literally flying high because he is floating around the track. I am looking at the screen, so he is floating around the track, ladies and gentlemen. So he's doing
Miraculous.
Very well.
Yeah.
Very well. One of 2 Dutch drivers in our field this evening. We've got Ubar currently behind him in 5th place. 7 seconds down on Bowie. He's got Pete about second and a half behind him. And then a bit further back you've got Ollie, 7 seconds behind Pete. Seem to struggle in these conditions at the minute. And you've got Dalavan closing up now behind Faleki. So hopefully Dalavan will be able to sort that out. He looks to be in the slipstream there. He might have a go into turn 1. Coming across the start line, Faleki goes defensive. Braking into the braking zone there, and tremendous on the brakes there from Faleki. Very well.
Just about makes the corner though. Just about makes the corner. Dalavan gets a better exit, but it looks like Flake's got nice traction.
Dalavan will be quicker through Curva Grande and headed in towards the Della Roggia chicane here. Can he do anything about Faleki? Seems to
too far back, I believe. No foul. A little bit too far back for the time being, but I've never seen Flaky have such a appalling race or appalling round in any racing series. I don't know if it's the wet conditions or whether it's just a bit of rustiness. He did actually make his racing comeback this weekend. It's been out for a little while, but whatever it is, we see here Flaky, and again he's put it in the wall, and then we've got a yellow flag here on the exit of LMP2. So that is a disaster there for Flaky, and he's retired from the race. He retired from the race. That is
oh, we got a spinner there.
Flaky had
like
Must be said, Flaky did have. Oh, it's Ollie. Yeah, uses the car on the exit of Ascari. As I was saying, Flaky had the pace in qualifying. I ended up on the front row alongside Carnage Venom, but in the wet conditions, it really has been a bit of a hit and miss game for him so far. Well, I say over the course of this round. His round is over here for the opener of Motor Racing's LMP Championship. Hopefully, he can have a better outing in round 2 coming up next week. We'll have to wait and see on that one. I'm absolutely certain he will be very, very determined to bounce back from this one, though. It's been a torrid evening for Flakies. We see Ollie going straight on, just riding over the sleeping policeman coming through the first chicane, but he has got it going once again. And he's now being closed in on by Dalavan, who's had an unfortunate race, but he does seem to be making amends gradually. Last time around his lap time was 1:44, but that's got to be taken into account that he did have to negotiate Flaky at some point on that lap. I will just make a note of the fact that those of you watching at home, a few of the guys have retired from this race, but that is down to a little glitch on Project Cars 2, which does occur in changeable conditions. Now this is a glitch where the team, or your team, don't actually change your tyres when you come into the box. It appears to have not just happened to myself by the retirements that we've seen on your screen in this race. I'm not sure what we'll be doing going forward about this changeable condition bug here that we've got on. Maybe we'll have to do races where there's a set type of weather going forward. We'll have to wait and see on that one.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, we're running on board with Ollie now, coming down towards the parabolic. It looks like it's trying to clear up, so maybe the shower has ended and maybe grip will start coming back to the drivers now.
I see what you're saying, Val, but in the corners there's still far too much standing water. Puddles on the inside. The dry tyres would not stand a chance going through that type of depth of water. There we go, we've got Ollie Marr in the commentary box. One of my fellow drivers. I don't think we can hear him actually on the stream.
No, word from our Incom radio that it is dry apart from the last sector, so that could pay dividends for Richie, who is still not pitted, of course. Richie 17 seconds in the lead now, still hasn't pitted.
Did he say
managing these conditions very well?
He says that though, pal, but I'm watching Ollie's onboard camera on my little pad that I've got here, and I'm seeing that he's still kicking up a lot of water coming through some of the corners, but it looks like Richie is coming in. As we see Ollie get a little bit loose there, I'm watching him on my pad. I'm not sure what we're watching live on the monitor.
To see where he filters out, ladies and gentlemen. See how far down he will fall, whether he'll be around Bowie or even Peter Uber. He's already out the pit box, so
Carnage Venom goes by.
running down the pit lane now.
Oh,
looks like he's going to come out around Bowie, to be honest, Val. Bowie just coming out onto the pit straight now, coming under the bridge. He's level pretty much with him now. Richie just coming over the line. Looks like he's going to be easily jumped by Bowie there. Richie's going to come out in some clear air here, but he's a long way off a podium spot. Bowie into third place here, and with 8 laps left to go here at Monza, it looks like it is going to be maybe a podium here for Bowie.
It does, and it does look like he has found the track again. He does look like he's got all 4 wheels on the tarmac these days.
Unfortunately, not on the stream. But
no, not on the stream.
Richie, very unfortunate for him, as he was 30 seconds in front of these guys before just after they pitted, and having those wet tyres through that few laps where it was wet has helped those guys catch him in 15 seconds, and it hasn't helped him after his pit stop. He has dropped down to 4th.
Meanwhile, you got Rags in the pits. Rags is our Australian driver this evening. Come a long way from Australia. Probably not used to these conditions. Does look like he's changing tyres or fixing damage. Running in 10th place this evening, 4 minutes behind the lead.
Hearing reports there from our in-race reporter Ollie Marr that apparently the track is pretty much bone dry out there, aside from a few of the corners in the final sector. We see the parabolica. It's very, very tricky.
Oh, College
But
Very spins in the first corner. Is this going to enable Sebastefano to catch up now? We're looking now. He comes into the first corner as well.
So it does look like Sebas has closed up due to that spin there by Carnage Venom. Currently 4 seconds behind now, so that'll help Sebas's cause there, seeing Carnage Venom spin around. Meanwhile, you got Richie had overtaken Bowie. So it makes you wonder whether Richie has put on slick tyres here this evening and is starting to come back at the leaders now. That sounds like a good plan to me. Anyway, that's what I would do, but of course these drivers didn't know how the race would pan out, so hindsight is a beautiful thing.
Richie definitely in the box seat with strategy now. It looks like he's got the fastest time. Bowie's still sticking to him though as we come through LMP2. We're all over the back of him now, and actually I think Carnage Venom has got a little bit more pace than these guys. Unfortunately we saw his spin, but he does look like he's picking it back up. That gap now reassuming what it was. Sorry, Badger.
I was just about to say, it looks like Seb has catched up massively now to our race leader after that spin at the first corner.
It does.
He's only 3 seconds
now.
back.
3 seconds down now, so hopefully that will help him and spur him on a bit more. You've still got 6 laps remaining here, everybody, so hang tight. Anything can happen. And they're looking for wet track now coming down the pit straight, so
we see Bowie getting very wide there through the parabolica in the background, and we got a shot on Bowie there. It looks like he was running through the standing water on the outside of the track and was really struggling to get it turned. He has got it back going again, but he's losing so much time to Richie now, and he's maybe falling back into the clutches of Pete. Having said that, he's 5 seconds ahead of Pete at the moment. He's got a lapped car who seems to be closing in on him though, so that looks like not in rags.
It does look like the people on wet are hunting for water now, so if Richie has dry tyres on, he will be gaining up massively. He's 13 seconds off the lead, 5 seconds. That's quite a tall order, but you never know. Oh, we see Bowie losing it again. Oh no. Bowie's lost it again, ladies and gentlemen.
Has he retired from the race? Or no, he hasn't. He's got it going.
No, he's oh no. Oh no, Bowie's
he's out. Bowie's out of the race. Oh, that is. Oh, that's horrible for Bowie.
Very unfortunate there for Bowie. Just looking at the comments here, a comment from Smithy: Andy, you catch us by surprise when you turn left. And
mentioned that I turned left into the commentary. No, it was actually a right turn from the commentary box, Kurt. When you come into the pit lane, the commentary box is up the stairs on the right hand side, just above my garage. So thankfully, no left turns involved.
You got Andy, you got Ollie and Ubar fighting here for 5th and 6th place here. Ubar currently on the inside. No, Ollie's got the job done around the outside into the Ascari chicane here. And now Ubar's fallen into the clutches of Dalavan. Dalavan currently is 7th, who's looking to go up the leaderboard, tucked right up behind Ubar coming down the back straight. Oh, Dalavan actually on the grass there. Not going to find much grip out there.
Goes wide coming through Parabolica. And Dalavan pull alongside him. Looks like Upar gets a nicer exit though. Dalavan into the slipstream. And you can see there Upar looking for the standing water, trying to keep those tyres healthy. Dalavan trying to get that slipstream effect here as they come down the pit straight here at Monza, and weaving all over the place there. Upar into the braking zone now. And Dalavan's got to be wary onto the grass just a little bit there. Slight bit of standing water being kicked up there by Okbar on the entrance to the corner, and on the exit it looks like Okbar's gets a nice run. But now Dalavan has got a brilliant exit here. They've got some traffic here.
It's Ollie Moore just in front, I think.
Ollie. What a great battle. You've got 3 cars in this battle here going. You've got Ubar going up the inside into the Della Roger chicane. Can Dalavan follow him? It looks like he does. Gives Ollie room to come back at him, but don't think Ollie can do. Yes, he does. Ollie does get him into the Lesmo Part 1 and heading down into Lesmo Part 2 now. What a battle we have on our hands, ladies and gentlemen. So, who's going to win the race then, Andy? Who's your money on at the minute?
Money for this race has to be Carnage Venom. I mean, it just looks like, in terms of this race, do you mean the 5th, 5th, 6th and 7th, sorry?
Oh no, we
We see that looks like Oakbar getting 2 wheels there, coming out of Ascari, almost getting into the barriers. Looks like he did kiss the barriers a little bit, but it looks like this battle is now between Olimar and Dalavan here for the final top 5 position. I think at the moment the momentum has got to be with Dalavan here, Falgus, because he is, last time around he was 5 seconds quicker than Ollie. Let's keep an eye on the split times and see what they do this time around. Will be interesting to see.
Let's jump on board with Dalavan.
Let's jump on board with Dalavan as we can see Ollie through the windscreen, and we are hunting him down in the closing stages of this race. 3 laps remaining here. Can he get the job done in 3 laps?
Well, he's 1.4 seconds quicker last time around on lap 21. So when you look at the form here, he's less than half a second, or maybe just under a second, sorry, behind Ollie. It's definitely on the cards when you work it out. I mean, 1.4 seconds a lap faster, but Ollie seems to have responded. Maybe he's got the bit between his teeth. Now he's got caught a glimpse of his opponent. He's it's sparked a fire inside of his belly, and maybe caused him to respond. But we see him get a little bit loose there coming through to Lesmo 1. A little bit of grass on the left-hand side, gets away with it, and keeps on going on his way. Always, he almost runs very, very wide there out of Lesmo 2 as well. Ollie living on a knife's edge here, but he's pulled out a bit to Dalavan this time around. Although, does it look like he's slowing down a bit here? Ollie Marway with a slow down penalty, backs right off. And while this happened, you can see Ugbar is catching a glimpse of his prey once again in the background. But he's 3 seconds off these guys. It may be too little too late in this race. Battle at the front, guys. 4.5 seconds between Carnage Venom and Seba Stefano.
Oh well, we've got word from Ollie in the in-car radio that he's suffering with tyres here, so desperately trying to hunt for water, keep those tyres cool. Meanwhile, he's got Dalavan all over the back of him, so, well, I say all over the back, he's got 8 tenths at the minute, so he's got a bit of a cushion. 2 laps remaining. You never know. Hopefully he holds on here. Although the crowd will be wishing that Dalavan does carry on and take his position being an Italian home racer.
Absolutely. I don't know if he's got anything left though. Ollie responded last time around 7 tenths faster than Dalavan, so he's definitely got extra motivation now. He's got somebody trying to take this 5th position away from him. Sorry, Fal.
No, it's alright. Meanwhile, you just had DJ Phil retires from the race now, so possibly another thing where they didn't change the right tyres or suffering from engine damage and having to retire the car tonight.
Oh
so,
no, it's gutting fair for him.
Back through the field, we've got Carnage Venom nearly on his last lap now. Carnage Venom, sorry, he's just starting his penultimate lap. He's going around Curva Grande into Della Roggia chicane. In second, you've got Sebas Stefano. Haven't heard a lot from Sebas. He's kind of kept himself quiet, kept himself out of trouble, doing what he does, getting the race done. Behind him, you've got Richie, 21 seconds. I think that was a false hope from Richie earlier on. Obviously, his strategy didn't pan out. And of course, we lost Bowie from this top 3 battle, so now Pete is in 4th place, and then back with Dalavan. Dalavan now in front of Ollie. So obviously Ollie's had a moment there.
Oh.
And Dalavan has capitalised on that, and Ollie has Uber all over him now in the closing stages of this race.
Ollie there with that absolute horror show of lap 23 there, pal. Sorry, just went 9 seconds slower than Dalavan, and now he's got Ugbar, as you say, all over the back of him. So Ollie's tyres look like they've well and truly hit the cliff, as we see Ollie getting a little bit loose there onto the puddle through Curva Grande, and he's got so much, then he's lost it. Ollie Marr loses the car onto the gravel on the left hand side. Ugbar up into P6, and that looks like Ollie is going nowhere fast here in this race. Can he hold on for P7? 28 seconds ahead of CMC. Those tyres are now well and truly gone.
Let's ride on board and see how much Ollie is struggling with the handling of this car, shall we? Through the first part of the Lesmo. It does look to be a bit understeery through there.
Oh, who's this? Ogbar's lost it. Oh, is he only? But there we Ogbar in the background. You can see he's also having problems. So both of these guys now feeling the full effects here of worn out wet tyres here.
Going, even though it's dry. So.
Goodness knows what on earth is doing in that car.
Trying to put Ogbar off, I think. You're not going to put him off from that distance, I think. So,
looky window wipers here for Ali Ma.
You've got CMC running in 8th place, our American driver from across the pond. And you've got Rags. Rags currently running in 9th place, still circling 3 minutes 22 down. So,
in the meantime though, where is our race leader?
Our race leader is on his final lap of the race, coming down the back straight here, ladies and gentlemen.
Carnage Venom with a brilliant start here to Motive Racing's LMP Championship here at Monza. Last season was the runner-up in the GTE Championship to Thorsten Schmidt, and so far this season in the LMPs has not put a foot wrong. Took the sprint race. He's going to take the feature race here at Monza. Fantastic job. Brilliant stuff from Carnage Venom here.
You got Sebas across the line, celebrating again with his team, flashing his lights. Richie, well done to Richie. Don't think his strategy panned out tonight, but still a great showing this evening.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. It's just unfortunate. The stream has appeared to have cut off. I don't know what's happening there, but the Pete coming over the line in 4th. Making a fantastic opening his account here at Motive Racing brilliantly. Looks like we've got a parked car on the right hand side. Looks like Ogbar has run out of fuel. Has he? No, he just parked it. He just parked it.
No. Maybe he has run out of fuel. We'll have to get a word on that.
11 litres. The fuel gauge says 11, so looks like you should have some more. Dalavan coming over the line in 5th place. Good to see Dalavan out on the track this evening. Raced in our GT3s earlier in the evening. Feels like a lifetime ago now. And Olimar has run out of fuel. Our in-race reporter.
Can he make it to the line? I'm sure he will make it to the line. With
if not, then CMC will surely push him over. Surely.
I can't see what speed. I think he's doing about 50 miles per hour, so he should easily make a line.
He's good, yeah, he'll be alright. Olimar there coming over in 6th.
Concludes our racing tonight. Great racing all round.
Yeah, absolutely fantastic there. Great job from Carnage Venom and Sebastefano out at the front, showing these boys the way. Fastest laps of the race from those two boys. The only guys in the 138s, aside from Ollie, who actually, Ollie Marr, in-race reporter here, did the 3rd fastest lap of the race on a 138.8. Looks like Richie completed the podium, and Pete on his debut doing a phenomenal job here. We're going to see if we can get a quick interview. Have a quick conversation with him here in our commentary booth. But in the meantime though, fantastic racing there from all the boys tonight, Fal, and they get to clean as well.
Hi guys, good to join you.
Oh, you alright, Ollie? How was the race?
So obviously happy getting 3rd fastest lap. I was on the wrong strategy slightly. I think my wet tyres were wearing down a lot during the race, and there were quite a few incidents in the opening laps as well, which caught some people out. But other than that, very good stuff. Unfortunately for Andy, I mean, he ended up in the commentator booth. His sandcastles did have a look very good going around the Parabolica. They were, I think, very distracting for Big Bar, who unfortunately spun out 2 laps from the end and then ran out of fuel, but yeah.
Well, you put in a strong performance tonight, Ollie. Can we expect more of the same for the rest of the season?
So I think obviously I'll be racing in Tier 2, so hopefully, yeah, winning Tier 2. I mean, I won the race today. great battle with Andy. It was good, great fun.
It was good fun, and unfortunately we couldn't recreate the type of pace that we had in the feature race. I think just more cars in the field resulted in more incidents really, and inhibited our ability to really climb up. Our pace was actually pretty similar, I think, to the guys. Maybe not Carnage, Venom and Richie, but we could have definitely been up there. But Ollie, it's been a pleasure to have you reporting the on-track situation here in this feature race. I hope to have had a better race myself. I want to say a big thank you to Honey Badger and Falguest. Obviously, Honey Badger, I think, had to go off and do something else during the feature race, but unfortunately, myself and Falguest managed to take the reins anyway. Thank you everybody for joining us live on YouTube.